Every year, the world produces enough food to feed 10 billion people, yet around 600 million people are extremely malnourished. We have enough food, so shouldn't we be able to solve world hunger already? Can we even solve world hunger? Well, the answer is quite complicated because it boils down to solving these 5 things. The first one being conflict. You see, around 70% of world hunger comes from countries that have some sort of conflict. The economies in these areas get destroyed during wars, and unfortunately, food becomes scarce because farmers end up having to flee their own homes. In order to solve world hunger, we need to fix these conflicts, and unfortunately, world hunger itself can cause even more conflict, creating a never-ending cycle, which leads us into the second thing we need to solve: economic inequality. You see, in a lot of these countries, there isn't a lack of food, there's actually more than enough. But the problem is that not everyone can afford it. In some of these places, it could take you a whole day just to earn enough for a plate of food. And to put that into perspective, here in the United States, it takes around an hour to earn enough for a day's worth of nutritious food. But what about the countries where there is a lack of food? This brings us to our third problem we need to solve: the climate. You see, even if you have the land and ability to grow your own food, climate change can cause severe droughts and flooding, which will damage crops, leaving these places with the only other option, which is to rely on other countries to send support, which only creates our fourth problem: logistics. You see, getting food into certain countries can be difficult, especially the ones in conflict. Like we mentioned earlier, that's around 70% of these countries. That's only a part of it. Lots of this food can spoil quickly without refrigeration, which is even more expensive for these already poor countries. Which leads us to the biggest problem: money. The UN estimates that $40 billion is around how much it would take each year to help solve world hunger, which is around 4% of what the US spends on their military. You see, these countries often can't afford things in the first place. This means they can't afford to fix their situation, so it's often left for the rest of the world to try and figure it out. So could we solve world hunger? Probably, but in order to achieve that, we would need to tackle the roots of these problems in the first place. I'll leave links in the description to the sources I used to make this video.